Okay. Welcome. I always have this awkward moment where I'm like, what do I say to start an interview? So
yes.
Welcome. And I also don't like introducing the person. I like you to tell me who you are and how you would introduce yourself.
I always struggle with this one too. Well, my name is Natasha Sheppard. I'm the CEO and founder and co-partner of Curlshoppe, as well as co-founder of Hustleworks. So I run two businesses. One's curly hair products, and the other one is and the other one is pretty much a hub for entrepreneurs and getting them to start their own business, as I have done as well. So it's a little bit of what I do.
A little bit. Tell me how you got started. Because it's two completely different, kind of sort of related, but completely different businesses. So let's start, since your hair just let's just have a moment for your hair. Tell me about Curlshoppe. Like, why did you start it? Who is it for?
So Curlshoppe started because I did the big chop. So, cut off all the hair, trying to go natural, be curly. And on that journey, really, I was looking at the products, the ingredients that were in them. And at the time, all the curly hair products were essentially in the States. So I had to do road trips, stack up on my products, come back. And I just started looking more at the products and what was in them. And DIY products were big at the time too. So I was like, I can make hair products. This is easy. So, bought a few things, mixing it up, testing it. Okay, that's maybe not so good. Ooh, I like this. So really testing out those things. And I just figured I would make my own. And Curlshoppe kind of started as, I wanted it to be a Canadian online curly hair distributor.
Did you actually, so when you started mixing your own products, was it just to serve your own need? Like, I need product, but were you thinking about, this is a business? Or how did that kind of journey come to, this could be a business and I could sell these products?
So as I was working on my own products and just working on my own curly hair, and I would, give it to my mom, my best friend, family, friends, and they were like, okay, it's good. I didn't know if that was really going to become a business. I thought it was just maybe going to be a hobby, a craft.
Because you had a regular day job, right?
Yes, yes, okay. Still do.
Bless you.
Maybe soon to be that full-time entrepreneur.
2020, this is the year.
Be good to me.
2020.
Yes. But I was actually reselling hair pills from the States. So, and it was the main...
Stop! Wait a minute. What? Okay, as a girl who looks like this, what is a hair pill?
So a hair pill was to help your hair grow quicker.
Oh, okay.
And because I had chopped off all my hair, I was like, okay, I need my hair to grow quickly now. I need it all. So I found these hair pills in the States. And they're a huge company now. Am I okay to say the name? If you need to cut it out, you need to cut it out. But the Main Choice. And they're a huge retailer now. But this is back when they didn't really have many followers at the time. And I was like, okay, this is great. I need to order it. So I ordered it for myself. And within 1 month, I grew an inch of hair. So I was like, okay. So I was like, if it works for me, it can work for other people. So I, on a whim, just bought 60 bottles. And I was like, I'm going to resell this because, Canadians are lacking, availability to these kinds of products. So that's kind of where Curlshoppe started. And I started my Shopify store, coded my own site because I'm also IT. That's my main day job. Coded the website and started reselling these pills, which was going well. But I didn't have a personal attachment to the pills other than just knowing that it worked for me. And there was a deficit. So I was selling these hair pills and I was still making my hair products on the side. And I was like, okay, so I started off with one product, which was a butter bomb that we no longer carry now. It's funny. The first product is, put it aside. But I liked it and I sold it alongside of the hair pills. And I noticed people were starting to buy my balm. And I was like, okay, it's working. It's good. So then I started doing that. And then I started just expanding the products and kind of caring less about the hair pills and more about this because it was something that I had created. It was something that, my own hands, mix it up, and it was working, which was great. So that was kind of what sparked the joy for what Curlshoppe is today, which is our own brand. So we no longer resell other products is just for us, and people love our brand because it's our products. And I brought my best friend in as my partner. And then that's when we really curated Curlshoppe as what it is today. And I couldn't be happier for that pivoting moment.
Let's go back to what was it that prompted you to want to do the big chop in the first place?
Yes.
Because it seems to be like right now a thing, right? That a lot of people are doing the big chop. So what was it for you that was the trigger?
My mom told me I didn't have curly hair. So my mom...
You'd never seen your hair curly?
I've never seen my hair curly. I've seen pictures of, me as a kid and this, big afro or these puffs. And I was like, oh, it's so cute. But I was like, that's not my hair. And my mom always had relaxed hair. So growing up, that's what I saw and thought for myself. So my mom relaxed my hair, always had straight hair. And then YouTube was getting big at this time too. And any girl with curly hair I was watching, and I was like, I want to be a curly girl. So I started growing out my hair, and I noticed that, I was getting the curls, but then it would just drop straight. And I was like, okay, so something's happening. Don't know what exactly it is. Something's happening. So I started taking the back of my hair and like cutting off the straight bits, and I would see it curl back, and I was like, oh my God, I have curls. So I started slowly cutting in the back to the point, like the back was all curly, and then I had the straight hair on top, and I was like, you know what, let me just do it. So I cut off all the straight bits so that I could have fully curly hair. And then I showed my mom, I was like, you see all this curl? And it actually got my mom to do the big chop and go curly as well.
Nice.
So that was a personal journey for me. And that's why I really got into, the whole curly hair community. And I wanted to know every and anything. And that's what kind of prompted the business as well.
And so once you found that you had curly hair, what was the first challenge that occurred to you that, I have curly hair, these are the challenges of curly hair?
Yeah. That products didn't work the same. So, I was used to washing my hair, blow drying it, straightening it, and I would kind of just use like a heat protectant and maybe some kind of pink lotion, something that, grabbed off the shelf, and that was okay. But I noticed with my curly hair, I couldn't have that same regime. So I was like, okay, this doesn't really work. So it was really getting to know my curls and my natural hair. That was, I'm still learning my hair. I'm still learning, different techniques and what works. But just using those hair products and learning more about them and being the best me and, naturally beautiful. That's kind of what curly hair symbolized for me.
And now, not everybody who is going to think, I need product for my hair. I can't quite find the product on the shelf here. Let me start making my own product. I don't think there are very many people who think that. Like, what made you even think that you could make your own product?
I don't know. Everyone asks, like, why would you I was like, I just had an idea. And that's what And
how did you start? So did you go on YouTube? Like, are there books that you can read? Like, what was your step one to figure out, here's how you formulate a product for curly hair?
Well, I started to educate myself as best as I could. So I was looking at ebooks, and I looked at, DIY, do-it-yourself beauty products. But I noticed it wasn't quite working well or for what I wanted, or at least you would make something, it was so small batch, and you might have to put it in the fridge or else it's going to go bad in a few days. Like the flaxseed gel that was a big thing. But yeah, so after making these products and figuring out, I started to go to science blogs and science forums. So science is not my strong suit. I don't like science, but I loved the creation. I loved that aspect of the science and, putting things together and making a product. That was exciting to me. So I would read these forums, and they were made for straight hair. And I was like, okay, I need to figure out something. So I would use these recipes that I found on science blogs, and I would tweak them until they worked for curly hair. And that meant, swapping out some of the normal or bad ingredients that worked for straight hair, but not necessarily for curly hair. And I would just look for more naturally based ingredients. So I was looking for the butters, the oils, and those natural ingredients that were actually going to nourish curly hair. And it was a lot of trial and error. It was a lot of swapping things out. And
so you're literally making these products in your home,
yes,
in like on the stove. Are you cooking them on the stove, like literally at home?
Yeah, I started off with little double boilers that you would look for, like making fondue and stuff. And I learned certain techniques that I needed to use. And then I was like, okay, I need to make bigger. And then I researched and I found bigger pots. And then I kept upgrading until I needed to get more and more, until I eventually grew out of my home. And now we're in our own manufacturing space. A little one, but it's our home.
A big step. Yeah. It's a big step to go from making it home to now you have you're a manufacturer now. What was the most challenging aspect of trying to get the formula right and create the product?
I just keep saying trial and error. And I know that every entrepreneur goes through this, and, you're trying to build your MVP and just trying to get, something out. But it still has to be of a good quality to make sure that it actually works in your market. So it was making these formulas and testing on myself, making sure that it worked for me. And especially with curly hair, there's so many different patterns, and that's the beauty of it. It's the beauty of it, but that's a challenge in itself. It's like, how do I make a product that can work for all of these different curly hair types? So it was tweaking the recipe a little bit, and that's why we ended up making different collections. Maybe some that's geared towards this hair type, some that's geared towards that hair type. And with that, we learned through customer feedback or even feedback from my family and friends, and just taking notes and keep reiterating. And I think you just work until you get something that works.
Your hair does look amazing though. Like really, like what's your process? Like what do you use? What for you to get it to look like this today? Yeah. What did you have to do?
Well, I did my hair this morning.
And I appreciate the effort.
And it's funny because a lot of my friends that got our hair products, and I'd be like, oh, how did you like it? And they're like, these are the only products that make my hair look good day one.
Oh, wow.
Because I knew it worked for me, but I didn't realize on a customer aspect that they felt the same. And it's great getting that feedback. But yeah, so, I washed my hair, I conditioned it. I used our coconut milk leave-in conditioner. And then I went back in with our coconut cream souffle, just a heavier cream to style it. So this is a no gel look, great for the winter. And I used our smoothing and detangling brush to get the ringlets at the end.
That's amazing.
And voila. And
it really does look very, very, like, it for you? Have you gotten to a place where you're like, I figured out the magic, the secret recipe for my hair?
Yes, I think I found it, because before I thought it was just the products. I mean, you need a good product base in your hair, but it's about the technique as well.
Yeah.
And so using the brush and the motion, I was like, okay, I got it. I loved it.
Did you have like any hairstyling background or anything to know like this is
YouTube? YouTube and Instagram, all of the influencers.
Everything you need to know is on YouTube and Instagram. Yeah. Have you had any like big mistakes that you've made where you've launched a product that you think, I think this is great, and then customers have just not liked it or it's not worked or anything like that?
The beginning when we started off with having, I'm so sorry everybody, but we had sulfates and silicones in our products, and that's because, again, I was working off science blogs, and that's what they had. And I figured all the big stores, when I go into Shoppers, I look at the products, they're in them, they should be okay. That's made for straight hair. So I guess the little science that I know about straight hair and curly hair is, we all produce oil from our scalp. So with straight hair, the oil is able to run straight down, so their hair gets greasy the longer you don't wash it. So the sulfates are in there to kind of help strip that oil to freshen up the hair. With curly hair, it takes a little longer for the oil to go down. So the oil will concentrate at the scalp and it won't moisturize the rest of the hair. So factoring that in, sulfates just strips everything more than it needs to. So that's why sulfates weren't the best.
So the hair is dry, right? Because it's literally just stripped of every bit of any moisture or oil.
Yeah. So that was one part. And then the silicones, again, it kind of makes the hair look shiny. So it coats the strands. So I was like, oh, it's okay. But it's a fake shiny. So it's making your hair appear nice and moisturized and healthy, although it's just like a coating. So it's not the best. So
the hair might still actually be dry, but it looks shiny.
Yes.
And okay. So you would think, oh, my hair looks great, but it's actually destroying your hair in some way. Oh, wow. Yeah. I've learned something. So what is so you start this business. How many years has Curlshoppe been in business?
Since I founded it in January 2020, we'll make it 5 years.
So this was your 5 years ago.
Yeah.
New year, I'm starting a new business.
Yeah. And then it wasn't until a year and a half later, so July 2016, where we launched our first collection and had Curlshoppe for what it is today. Oh, so it was, again, I started it by myself. I was trying to figure out things. I didn't know exactly I didn't know the business was going to pivot in that way. And then when I brought my partner in, it was, it was a branding refresh. It was a lot. So, but in its entirety, it'll be 5 years.
And what would you say as an entrepreneur has been the biggest lesson you've learned from having Curlshoppe?
Whew. The biggest, that's a hard one. There's so many lessons to learn. And I'm constantly learning them every day. There's going to be multiple parts to this, but just be really passionate in what you do. Because even if you're not paying yourself, like most entrepreneurs don't get to do at the beginning, or at least for a long time, if your passion is there, you are going to make a great product or service, or whatever you're putting out is going to be the best you. And as long as you're happy doing it, expect the hard work, expect things to go wrong and push through. But if your heart's in it and you know that you are doing a good job and the best that you can be, it'll all work out in the end. So how
has it changed, and how's the dynamic changed for you bringing on a friend? Because that could go either way, right? Bringing on a friend as a business partner. Why did you decide to bring her on, especially since she's your friend? Yeah. And how has it changed the business?
A lot of people, when they find out that we're best friends, are like, ugh. And I was like, why? Like, doesn't that make it perfect? And they're like, yeah, but you're mixing business with pleasure, right? Because she's my best friend. So it's hard, and that's why a lot of friends don't try and go into business together, because then you're mixing kind of personal feelings into it versus business. But I think because we were best friends for so long and we were on the same wavelength, like we knew what we wanted to do and we were very strong as friends, we figured that we'd be strong as business partners as well. And we're kind of able to separate friendship from business. And if you can't do that, it's not going to work. Because a lot of people are like, how do you find a best friend business partner? I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Thankfully, it happened that way. But another reason why we work is because we're opposites. So although we have like the same business minded, I'm more operations. Like I create the products themselves. And I always say, I make the products, she makes them pretty. But she is the vision of the brand. So all of the branding, like if you saw my labels when I made them, they were just white, slapped on what it is, like shampoo, Curlshoppe, that's it. And she, put some color on it, put some spin, made a design. She wanted to make it look good on a shelf. If we went to Shoppers Drug Mart today and put our products on the shelves, you wouldn't know any better. And she just, she's my opposite, and we work well in that sense. And that's why I think we've been able to be in business for so long and have so much growth in our business, because we just complement each other well. So I think that's how it works.
So you talked about, seeing your product on a store shelf.
Yes.
What's your big dream for Curlshoppe?
We were just talking about this the other day, and we would love to be, I have a few big dreams, but I think having our products on the shelves of like Shoppers Drug Mart would be our big thing, because we want to be the Canadian curly hair brand. When you think of curly hair, you think of Curlshoppe, and Shoppers Drug Mart, because it's all across Canada and it's kind of one of those accessible stores. You go there for your beauty products anyways. Why not pick up some Curlshoppe? So, although our online sales are really good, we've found that it's our partnerships that have been driving a lot of business. And, why not be able to work with other partners and kind of get more exposure, reach more clientele that way. And, it's a win-win for us. So, and continuing those partnerships, and just getting our name out there, getting the brand out there, and serving as many, curly hair people that we can. And yeah, so that would be our dream.
So you were talking about online, that you have an online presence. So right now you're not yet, although I know you're in some salons.
Yes.
Like I know you're in salons, and you have an online presence, and you actually ship internationally. So you're not just, although the vision is to be the Canadian brand for people with curly hair, but you do ship internationally, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just thought of this. It would kind of be like being the Drake. So, in Canada, it's known like, wow, these girls are from Toronto. They're a Canadian business, especially being young Black females that, you don't really get that from too many brands, or at least the big brands out there. It's like, well, who owns this? Like, do they really care? We care, and we're our own customer. So I think that's a big part of our brand. But yes, being, across the US, we ship to the US now, we ship to the UK, but also, even expanding more. So this is a big dream now. Big dream. But even being in the Caribbean, like we've had so many people, from Jamaica and other islands are like, we want your product. I'm like, it's so expensive to ship to you. But again, kind of building off what I was saying about the partnerships. But if we were able to partner with those stores or salons in the islands and other parts and just work on those relationships so that, we can ship a bulk there, and they distribute amongst the country and stuff like that. So that would be a great goal expansion wise to be known. So we have been reached out by a few of those places, but it's just a little hard for now. But big dream, yes, is to kind of be everywhere.
2020, 2020 is the year. Now you said something which is interesting, which you said that different than perhaps some other labels, some other brands, in that you are your own customer. So when you're creating this product, it's not from a place of, what can we put out in the market that'll sell? You're literally putting it out as I wear this, I use this on my own hair, I know it works, and now I'm sharing it. Has that been a challenge for you, being a Black woman-owned company and trying to get airtime in the market?
I think with small businesses, you kind of, and that's why they have, the Dragon's Den, where everyone's like, you should go to Dragon's Den, you can do it. And I was like, yeah, but it's hard giving up a piece of the company. And also, it kind of goes towards the brand as well. A lot of customers, they appreciate us because they see our face, they know what we look like, they can tell like we are the brand and we are our customer. And a lot of the times that's kind of the complaints that we've heard about other companies, like the big brands, because we noticed a customer shift that it's not like, I just want something that works, is a lot of people care about the company and care about the people behind the brand. So I think that's a big advantage that we have.
I would definitely say that is your strength. Like I reached out to you because there was a face and a name to this product that, so your 2020, the year of success. Let's talk about the other hustle that you have. Tell me about that and why you started it.
I love how you said that for Hustle Works. So this is a business that I have with my boyfriend. Again, I've been mixing this business with pleasure. But for me, it works. And, because hustle works, but we're both entrepreneurs. And I have the physical product commerce business side of it. And I also love to just help others. Like I've had so many other businesses that are starting up and they came to me because they kind of saw me do it first and had a lot of questions in mind. And then also himself. So he's similar to my best friend. I know she's like, we're dating each other, like with our boyfriends. I was like, I know, it's weird. But he also compliments me as well because he has the creative vision. He's a designer by trade, and it comes easily and naturally to him. And a lot of people are looking for that. And he used that skill for drop shipping. And that's also, a buzzword right now because a lot of entrepreneurs, they're looking for businesses where, yes, they can curate a brand or have something, but not as much work, I guess, because manufacturing is a lot of work. So people are kind of looking for they want their own business, but kind of a little different. And that's where dropshipping comes in. So because we have both the commerce side and the dropshipping side, we wanted to kind of package all this information and all these years of, being an entrepreneur and having that business mind, package it and help other business start up. So we've had, between both, even our friend base, we've had a lot of people like, let's have a coffee. Let's do this. Tell me all about your knowledge. And we're like, okay, well, we're going to pack it up for you. It's called HustleWorks. Here you go. So we're actually building online courses to help out entrepreneurs. And we're starting to partner up with other nonprofit organizations in the city, as well as other businesses that we can kind of like, hey, we have this course, there's product photography that we're talking about. We know that you do product photography. Is there a way that we can partner and just start building those partnerships as well, so that we're actually building a community as well, and partnering up all the knowledge that's out there. We're kind of bringing it together, and have that lead into doing workshops. And we were a community sponsor for Move the Dial, and we're starting to really get in the community and have a lot of that outreach, and especially working with non-for-profit. Like both of us are educators, and we just want to be able to give back. So even working with other organizations that really work with the youth and being able to work with other women, that's been a big, just a personal thing that we wanted to do. So working with these other organizations, because there's a lot of youth out there, and even if they come from certain neighborhoods that they may not think that they're going to succeed, we want to work with them and say, you can do what, at this day and age, you have a phone, you could do whatever you want to do, and just being able to enable them to be able to start these businesses. And so that's a little piece of HustleWorks there.
And so we've talked about the hustle and and your side hustles, and you still have you have a regular day job, and you have this business, and you have this business.
Yes.
When do you have time to just be you?
I fit it all in. So maybe that's why I have my, a business with my best friend, business with my boyfriend. So all the time just works. I never thought I would be one of those people like, oh, let me check my calendar. But the organization that needs to go into being able to, I have to block off my own personal time. So my mom called, Fridays is mom and daughter night. I have nights with my boyfriend, later tonight, I'm going to go hang out with my best friend and party a little bit. But just being able to kind of make sure that you set aside time for yourself. I think that's a big thing, or else you can get wrapped up really easily in just getting that burnout. So, I get my massages, I do my yoga, just, zen out a little bit, take some time. And even if it's mini moments, so when I get home from work, I just kind of decompress, if that's laying in my bed like this for 10 minutes or doing whatever, having a tea, just having those mini moments before I go to my office and do some work and have some late nights. It's having those mini moments. And I think those help. And just everything's in the calendar. I have reminders. I have everything. That's the only way I can really stay on track. But it's a lot, but I enjoy it. I enjoy the long days. And when it comes to that time where I quit my 9 to 5 to go full-time into these business, I'll be more than happy to spend that time, because I know that it's personal to me, and it's a passion of mine, and I want to do this, and that's kind of what I envision for myself going forward. So, if I have to keep working my 9 to 5, to save up a little bit until I can really dive in, which is still such a scary thought for me. But I'm confident that I can do it, and I know that my heart would be in it.
What advice would you give to somebody else who's looking at you, has a dream, who has a vision of, I could create this product or I could do this thing? What advice would you give to them?
Start. I think that it took me a long time from, registering the business in January 2015 to really put out the brand that I wanted in July 2016. I think that was too long, personally, I think. And it's because sometimes a lot of people, they let perfectionism get in the way. So they're like, no, it has to be perfect. It's not right. Oh, let me tweak this, or I'm not ready, or what are people going to think? Just start it. And you're going to learn your lessons along the way. And your product or your service or you are going to get better over time. So I think don't wait. And I think a big driver of that, is, my mom telling me like, I'm living through you. I wish when I was your age, I had, the guts or the courage to start a business. And she just loves that aspect. And for me to know that, I sometimes think, I should be a lot farther. And then I'm like, I am 27. Like I think I'm doing a great job as is. And sometimes it's taking a step back and recognizing your wins. I think a lot of people, get down on themselves because they're like, I'm not doing enough. Or they look at other people, they're so much farther. You don't know anyone else's journey. And I think that as long as you appreciate and you live your journey and you keep going on and, put yourself out there until you put yourself out there, you're not going to know. So I think just kind of diving in and starting off would be my big tip.
And you're so right about, comparing yourself with other people, and especially in the world we live in where, like Instagram, everybody posts their highlight reel and it's easy to feel like I'm so far behind. But you talked about your mom. So tell me about your mom.
My mom, that's my true best friend. I don't know what I would do without her. Not gonna cry, but almost a year and a half ago, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. So it was funny. We can laugh about it now because she's healthy and good. But when she started growing her curly hair, she unfortunately had to go through chemo and radiation. So it was a tough time, but I had a moment with her. I was like, Mom, you're going to lose all your hair. And she's like, I didn't even think of that. And I was glad that I was the one that told her and not like her in the hospital saying these things. So it was kind of, braving her up for this moment. And when she lost her hair, as you rock a low cut, I was like, Mom, you're gorgeous. Yeah. And your soul and your beauty, it radiates, and you don't need no hair. As much as I have a curly hair business, I was like, you don't need any hair. You look gorgeous. And she said that meant the world to her because she was looking at buying wigs and going to, I think she went to the office one day with a wig and she ripped it off. She was like, I don't care. I don't need this. And as long as she felt comfortable, and she just said, like, she tells everybody I was her rock. And I'm her only child. So to me, like, she's my everything. I know at some point in time when she's a lot older, circle of life. But I'm like, I'm not ready. Because 2 years ago, I lost my father. Yeah. Woo! So 2 years ago, I lost my father. So when this happened with my mom, I was like, no, like, you're not going to take both of my parents. So I was there with her and I was like, Mom, do you want me to treat you like you're sick or treat you as if everything's okay? And she said, treat me as normal. So sometimes she'd get at me, she's like, wow, you can wash the dishes. I was like, Mom, do you want me to wait on you? Oh, sorry. And she's like, but I think it was the fact that we both acted as if it was normal. I would go with her to her appointments. I was there making jokes, doing all this and just carrying on. I think being that spirit of that light you need, even if you have one person in your corner, it means a lot. So that's my mom. She's my biggest supporter. I woke up a little early and I heard her talking to my uncle and she was just raving about, oh, did you know that Natasha, da, 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 da. And I was like, so me and my mom, that's my lady. But yes, so that's that relationship. And I think,
do you know that, Natasha? All of that. I hope you know that, because at your age, to have built what you've built, and I know I'm sure there are days for you where you're like, I should be further ahead and that. But at your age, to have built what you've built and to have the level of passion that you have beyond yourself, because a lot of times, people are just like, this is for me and what can I build for me? Yeah. But for you to be like, I want to help other people who went, who are trying to figure out their hair. Yeah. That's an incredible thing. So I hope you know.
Thank you.
Did you know about Natasha?
Thank you.
What is Natasha's biggest dream for herself?
I want to come into a large office in sweatpants and a t-shirt and get work done. No. I see myself with, even though I have 2 businesses now, I see more. I see myself, traveling and working, helping others, being in the community, speaking on panels, helping others, and just trying to do it all, but in my way, and just kind of it's almost like being like a free entrepreneur. But I think for me personally, money comes after. I would love for money to just be the caveat of that helps me do those things or enables it. But I don't see myself as, I just want to get rich and, sell my businesses. I love working on my businesses. I always tell everybody I'm going to be a millionaire, and I believe that 100%. 2020. No,
2020. No, let's declare 2020.
But yes, just being able to continue to serve the community and do that in different ways through different businesses. I think that's kind of overall goal that I have.
For you, what does to be a woman on fire mean?
I think I am immediately just visioned literally a woman on fire, but in a glowing way, like a glowing aura about them. And it's just kind of, when you walk into a room, it's just the radiation, the glow is like, whoo, it's hot. That's kind of what I see a woman on fire. Just a woman who's confident, powerful, radiates that glowing in all of the fire. That's kind of what I heard and envisioned when you said that.
So, all right. Now, this platform is called Ndini, and I named it that because I'm from Zimbabwe and my mother tongue is Shona, and in Shona, Ndini means I am, and I believe in the power of you declaring. 2020 is going to be amazing. Yeah. But in the power of you declaring your I am, and that being your destiny. So finish the sentence for me. I am.
I am a wonderful person that goes for what she wants.
Yeah. Yes. All right. So I wish you just so much success, because you truly deserve it.
Thank you.
I'm so honored to have met you. Thank you so much for making time. Here's what I'd love to ask you as our community. So I want to know from you, who do you want me to have on the show? Who would you like me to interview? Who are some of the amazing women whose stories you would like for us to share on this platform? If you have any fantastic ideas, and even better, if you can connect me with them, please comment, leave your comment, or DM me and tell me who are some incredible stories I should be sharing on this platform. And the other ask that I have of you is for you to subscribe. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on social media. We're on Instagram and Facebook, and share. Please share. If you find any of our interviews inspiring, please share them with your friends and family.